Hi, welcome to Defensive Driving and Vehicle Safety. Defensive driving is simply a matter of common sense, education, and a safe attitude on the road. Some of the characteristics of a defensive driver are knowledge, alertness, foresight, judgment, and skill. We will be seeing examples of all of this throughout the presentation today. All in all, just keep calm and drive on. During the next few slides, we will be reviewing some tips and techniques to help you move safely along the way. So let's discuss intersections. First and foremost, it is important for all drivers to clear the intersections before proceeding through them. When stating that an intersection is clear, you are saying that whether you are at a traffic light, stop sign, or yield sign, that you have looked in all directions and determined that it is safe to proceed. Another thing, if a traffic light has been green for a while, approach the intersection slowly with your foot over the brake so that you will be prepared to stop if needed. At stop signs, remember flashing red lights are the same as a stop sign, and yellow flashing lights mean to proceed with caution, and rolling stops are illegal. Now, let's talk about turning and right-of-way at intersections. Always use your signal for at least 100 feet before turning or changing lanes. Always turn from the lane closest to the direction you are turning in. At a four-way stop, the car on the left must yield to the car on the right. Never insist on right-of-way if another driver decides not to yield to you. It's not worth your safety. And always yield to pedestrians. Let's review some safety techniques for accelerating and braking. 1. Pick up speed smoothly and gradually when accelerating. 2. Use cruise control appropriately. 3. Don't ride the brake. 4. Apply even firm pressure when braking. And 5. Avoid slamming or hard braking whenever possible. To pass or not to pass. Just a few refreshers. It is unsafe or illegal to pass in the following places: school zones, within 100 feet of the crest of a hill, intersections, railroad crossings, tunnels, and bridges. One thing we would all like to avoid is becoming or encountering aggressive drivers. How would you define an aggressive driver, you ask? Well, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the behavior of an individual who commits a combination of moving traffic offenses so as to endanger other persons or property would be defined as an aggressive driver. Basically, aggressive drivers are simply trying to get somewhere faster than everyone else, putting themselves and others at risk. Hand in hand with being an aggressive driver comes driving aggressively, meaning committing a traffic offense or combination of offenses such as following too closely, speeding, failing to signal, and general lack of attention or courtesy for the other drivers and pedestrians. Remember, although it is understandable and very tempting to want to put such people in their place, your main concern should be your own safety and the safety of others on the road. Allow extra distance in front of you. Slow down and double your distance with the car in front of you. Resist revenge. Avoid speeding or hitting brakes. Make it easy for the aggressive driver to pass you. And do not tap your brakes. And always remember the 2-second rule. After the vehicle in front of you passes an object, count 1 1,000, 2 1,000. And if you are passing the same object after counting to 2, you have an appropriate distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. Remember to add a second if you are driving at night, if there's a motorcycle in front of you, if there is poor visibility, or if the roads are wet. These days, one of today's greatest challenges we face is distracted driving. Did you know in 2016, 13.5 deaths per 100,000 were due to distracted driving? Giving this some perspective, imagine a UT home football game. 13 people in attendance at that stadium will die in an auto accident. That's some pretty terrifying odds. So let's identify what some of these distractions are. Number 1, cell phones. Number 2, eating while driving. Number 3, passengers. 4, other drivers. Number 5, drowsiness. We all get a little tired during our long commutes every day, but it's important to stay alert when you're on the road. Driver impairments, number 6. That includes alcohol, medication, and recreational drugs. Basically, anything that can impair your judgment when you're behind the wheel. To explain distracted driving a little further, let's talk about cognitive distraction. Cognitive distraction occurs when a driver diverts his or her attention to another mentally demanding task. Talking on a hands-free cell phone, for instance, or using a voice-activated electronic system are two activities that produce purely cognitive distraction. Many other distractions, such as texting, adjusting in-vehicle controls, and eating, have a physical as well as a cognitive component. Now we will quickly review our company's cell phone policy. Employees must utilize hand-free cell phone functions while driving. If unable to acquire hands-free use, employees are required to pull over to a safe area before engaging in a cell phone conversation. This is for your safety as well as the safety of others on the road. As a company-approved driver, there are a few forms that you should be aware of. Let's start with the vehicle condition statement and the bus condition statement. Before leaving a company site in a fleet vehicle, you should complete the appropriate form. This needs to be done each time you leave a company site and each time you return to the company site. The form should be turned in to your supervisor or manager on a daily basis. Additionally, if an issue with the vehicle is identified, please make sure your manager or supervisor is aware so that they can report it to the facilities department. The vehicle accident form can be found in the glove compartment of all fleet vehicles and is to be used in the event that you are involved in an accident. Here is the example of the vehicle condition statement. As you can see, it has plenty of room to complete all the vehicle information as well as your information. The form also includes the number for our 24-hour roadside assistance. Next, let's look at the example of the bus condition statement. Just as with the vehicle condition statement, there is plenty of room to complete all pertinent information and includes a list of emergency numbers in the event that any are needed. Seen here is the vehicle accident report. In the event that you are involved in an accident or incident while on the road, you need to assure that this form is filled out completely and turn it in to your manager or supervisor as soon as you return to the company site. Please note the asterisk at the bottom and attach any pictures obtained from the accident scene. And now, let's go over proper rear view mirror placement. I know you think you're doing it right, but you would be surprised at just how many people actually are doing it wrong. There are two parts to properly adjusting your mirrors. Let's start with part 1, adjusting rear view mirrors, which has 3 steps. Step 1, adjusting the driver's side view mirror. Lean your head over to the left and adjust the mirror. You should be leaning so that your head almost touches the driver's window. If your mirror is adjusted in the traditional fashion, the side of your car should almost take up the whole mirror. Correct this by adjusting the mirror until you can just see the rear quarter panel, the rear end of the car. If you've adjusted the mirror correctly, the rear end of your car should occupy less than 1/3 of the mirror. Step 2, adjusting the passenger side view mirror. Lean your head to the right and adjust your side mirror. Your head should be as close to the center as you can without actually leaving the driver's side seat. From there, position the right side mirror so you can just see the rear quarter panel of the passenger side in the mirror. Again, ensure the quarter panel takes up less than a third of the mirror's view. The final step to part 1 is adjusting the center rearview mirror. Return to your usual position in the driver's seat and adjust the center rearview mirror. Place this mirror to see as much of the rear window as you can. You want to see directly out of the rear of your vehicle. Don't try tilting the mirror to get a better view of the traffic on either side. The center mirror should compensate for what the side mirrors can't see, not compensate for badly adjusted side mirrors. Now, part 2, confirming the elimination of the blind spots. It also has 3 steps. Step 1, check the adjustment of your mirrors from a normal seated driving position. You shouldn't be able to see the side of your car in either side mirror, giving you a much wider view. If you can still see the side of your car, try the above steps again. You're likely to need to adjust the mirrors so that they point a little further outward. Step 2. Confirm the additional view provided by your side view mirrors after proper adjustment. Your mirrors should now cover more of the lanes right next to your car. Not only can you keep track of the cars behind you and to the side, but you can follow them visually as they approach, going a long way to eliminating your car's blind spots. While you still want to perform a quick shoulder check for added safety when changing lanes, you'll now have a better view of vehicles and objects on all sides. And finally, step 3 to part 2. Check to ensure objects to the rear are transitioning to the side mirrors as they pass you. Pay particular attention to the cars that are passing you. As they approach, you should see them in your center rearview mirror. Then as they pass, they'll move laterally through the center rearview mirror until they appear in the corresponding side view mirror. This transition should be smooth. The vehicle should be reflected by your side mirror as soon as it leaves the center mirror. This confirms the elimination of your car's blind spots. If there's a pause between the vehicle leaving the center mirror and appearing on the side mirror, you'll need to readjust because there's still a blind spot left. We hope that you are never unfortunate enough to be involved in a collision. However, it is important to review what to do in the event it does happen. Get off the road as safely as possible. Administer first aid if you are trained and it is necessary. Avoid discussing blame with anyone at the scene. Exchange identification, notify the police or highway patrol, get the facts, the plate number, the insurance policy, any other information that needs to be completed by filling out the accident report form in the glove box. Notify your employer. Use the camera on your phone to take pictures. If necessary, protect the cargo. If needed, call the facility's on-call staff and remain at the scene until everything is completed. Now, if it happens that you are a witness to a collision, you also have a responsibility to get to a safe position to stop and help. Identify if there are any injuries and notify police and emergency first responders if necessary. Be sure to let your manager and/or supervisor know what is happening while you wait for the police to arrive. I hope you enjoyed this defensive driving presentation. Always remember these 3 steps before starting the vehicle. Complete the pre-inspection portion of the vehicle condition statement. Assure proper placement of your rear view mirrors and secure your seatbelt for yourself and all passengers. Have a great day. Any questions? Feel free to contact Justin Besner, Director of Risk Management at 1163, or myself, Tammy McMain, the Facilities Risk Coordinator at 1154. You can get more detailed information on the AMO driver and vehicle safety procedures. Just go to Annette and click on the Human Resources link.